Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. As typical on this weekly morning live stream, I'll be covering a combination of both Veersmith levels and, if I have time, some other levels I found online, primarily focusing on the former. I say that because for the past few weeks or sessions, I've only been having enough time to focus on Veersmith stuff. And afterwards, I'll be showcasing some art posted on the Discord server. And along the way, feel free to discuss other game-related topics. I'm happy to do so. So welcome to the stream Balloon Boy, Jock74, O'Brad, Buster, Raccoon, LD Spade, Lurkers, and anyone else who I missed. It's nice to see you're here. And this weekend, as well as the oncoming week, there are a few new releases, at least 2 new releases that I'll be covering on the channel. One with Mega Team Up and the other is solo. Okay, scratch that, technically 3 new releases. 2 of them will be co-op, 1 of them will be solo. 2 full playthroughs, as in from start to finish. And 1 that's gonna be a sampler-ish. Hey Salty! Yeah, late notification. But you're here at least for one check-in. So because I have a bunch of levels from last week I wasn't able to get to, about 5 or 6 of them, I'll start with them and then get to the ones submitted this week. Alright, yeah, this week is going to be kind of crazy, and then next week, and then the week after next week, it's going to be crazy because Regenesis is coming out. And I already made a vow to stream it on the day of its release. I'm hyped too. Alright, so first on today's lineup is Burster Bubble by Glockstar, aka LD Spade. 131 plays and a score 55. Yeah, we don't usually get Mega Man X fan games releasing, although this year have been reading relatively good. What with D-Extreme. Now we have a fully original X fan game coming out. That's gonna be hype. Oh yeah, this is very similar to Maelstrom Woman's level. At least in terms of the design principle. Oh, now this is a bit different. It does feel like kind of Maelstrom Woman DLC, or an alternate take on Maelstrom Woman with many of the same central mechanics and enemies and gimmicks, but some new ones too. Like we didn't have the crab bubbles, nor did we have the crushers. Oh no. Oh boy. Okay, it's a timing. Haha, missed me. And now for the horizontal bubbles. Hey RN, Jimio. Already I'm liking this more. Oh shoot. Already I'm liking this more than the previous level by Glockstar. I don't think it's as good as That Stinking Feeling, but it is like 1 or 2 steps below. Which is to say it's decent. But if you were to include this as a alternate or bonus DLC stage for W, I'd be happy. It fit. Heck, with the assets present in this engine, you could recreate Beam-Man stage. Both the OG and the good version of the level. Hey, Paul. Just have to make sure of something. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should just use this. Yeah, this was a decent... I don't want to say rompy/popcorn level, as a few of the bubble sections did force me to pay attention to them so I wouldn't just fall into the abyss or into spikes. So, hey, it's a more traditional stage. It's like the traditional NES stages, more along those lines. Or traditional Robot Master level. Not as good as the W level, but if this was part of W, I would say it also fit. So, solid start, LD. Like, if a stage feels like it wouldn't be out of place as a fan game Roadmaster level, you've already done well. You perished. Glad to hear, Professor Tornado. The introductions, escalations are fairly good. Recombinations, I feel, could have gone a bit harder with the crab bubbles, as that wasn't utilized as heavily as the central gimmick, the first one. And the ending climax or ending section leaves something to be desired, I'd say. Nonetheless, it's decent. No level from Sun4 today because their computer fan is grinding. Yeesh. Yeah, get that checked out by some professionals. It could be that the fan's dying or it needs to be oiled up and cleaned out. Cleaned out and oiled up, I mean. Oh boy, we have 12 levels on the queue this week. Better get moving. Second up is Donkey Man by Oscar1258. Steady play, score 29. Hi Kira. Your level's coming up after this. Which means very soon. Yeah, I'm not dealing with the gories that way. Hello? Right, not projectile. Tundra Storm! Not close enough. Well, it is a Donkey Kong team level, that's for sure. I was worried it's going to be more directly the arcade game, but at least Oscar chose to make it a little bit different. Yes, thank you, Pippi. With charge shots, Pippis are now more... With charge shots, Pippis are far less annoying and more like health restore. If you have a charge shot, Pippis go from being dangerous or annoying to easy farming. Yeah. Why is it organized this way? The utilities are in front, not behind. That kind of breaks convention. Is Thunderstorm gonna work better? Yeah. Well, at least this is an actual level. With charge shots, Pippies become a mystery box. It's only if you don't have charge shots where they can become a bit of a problem. With Pippies you get like 6 or 8 shots per egg. Well, at least the level didn't end in a minute or two, and it's not just overly repetitive. Yeah, this scaffold does look really Donkey Kong-ish. And the Camusa Burrows could stand in for Mini Kongs. I really don't think we need that many Yushishis in this level. E-tanks, maybe. Like, we have another Yushishi right over here. What the H? Yeah, I'm just skipping this. Nonetheless, it is a neat set of jumping platforms. Or jumping puzzle. Not really puzzle, but jumping challenge. I just want to get this a little bit more smoothly. Ow. Ow. Make sure to destroy the Pippies, not the eggs. That's how you get the prizes. Where's my Thunderstorm? My only real gripe at this stage is why did you put the coils at the... Why did you put the utilities in front of the list, not behind it? Oh no. Oh right, I could've just done this. Whoops. Bye. Thunderstorm! Dance, Mega Man! Yeah. Rompy DKC team level, but compared to like 95% of our repertoire, I'm sounding like a broken record on this point. It was better. You are... What I mean to say is you are improving. You know, in terms of a rompy stage, especially with the last section, I'll give this a thumbs up. It's been a while, but... I want more of these types of adaptations versus like the straight ones. Straight conversion. See, Sunflower says, speaking of the previous level, you revised Aqua Temple to include the pirate enemies, new bubble generators, and have Maelstrom Woman's team as a music option. That's cool. Thank you for that, Ellie Spade. I'll save that probably for next week, but the way things are going. I don't have time this weekend, so looking at it, I can't confirm yet, Tedley, but I will alert you in the Discord, because I may have something next week Saturday afternoon as well. Oh, VWX. Thank you, Hyperfan. I will check that out. Alright, gotta keep going. 13 levels on the list now. Number 3 up is Forte's Revenge, White Castle Tree by Parazil. Yeah, let me re-say that. Number 3 up is Forte's Revenge, White Castle Tree by Parazero. 30 plays and a score of 0. Ooh, 6 upvote, 6 downvote. So, a relatively decent number of players have played this, and it's polarizing. Thank you for running me, Lepadio. I forgot to turn that back down. I forgot to turn it back down for the music. Sorry if you didn't hear what I was saying earlier, but I'm gonna say welcome to you all at least. Oh my. Compensate for something. Yeep. Careful use of bases double jumping. I can understand why YouTube would autofilter please unban me, but it should at least give the option to the channel owner or the moderators to whether decide to keep filtering it and not just fully. But the option should be given to the channel owner and / or the moderators on whether to keep filtering the messages by the user by that name. I don't understand why I Will Win was actually filtered though. That name is fine in my book. This is basically a whole rewind of the 8 main levels through holograms. I see. So it's kind of like a stage rush / a different kind of remix. No, I'm not going to open up the discussion point again, Buster. We already ranted about it last week. Several of us. But I agree. No, I totally understand your point, Buster. I just don't want every week to turn into that. Oh no! You're gonna pull back. Ooh, 15 minutes to beat. Yeesh. Okay. Thank you for warning me about that. Yeah, and this week may not be a good idea because there's quite a few levels in the queue. 10 rooms per stage. Yeesh. That is like a quarter of the original stage. A half it was an NES styled one. Maybe 1/5, and if you multiply by 8, it results in a decently long level. How to take care of tigers. Use your flamethrower. Desert. blocky sand baiting. Let me through. Double kill. Get me out of here. What is this based off of? I guess we're back to the facility now. Oh! Right, I forgot. I didn't see those initially. Oh my gosh. I got three-way comboed and it's my fault. I see you. Oh my gosh, I'm having flash forwards to some potential levels that'll make use of the double jump and teleportation gimmick. Because I used up my double jump. Although I don't think I need to double jump, I just need to go there. And there is this one teleporter which I should have used. How to do this the correct way? Darn hitboxes. Oh. First time, eh? Nice, you got your Goku noodles. Checkpoint after every part. I don't have a slowdown. It's funny considering that Napalm Man is technically fire elemental. Maybe. Portal Man. Oh, that was the portal section. I thought that was just returning to the main part of the stage for an intermission. The non-stage rush part. Do I even have a slowdown or no? Okay. Can I even make it through the regular jump? Yeah, I'm playing your level buster after... Yours is 6th in the queue. I'm currently on number 3. Do I have to land on top of the block and jump off of it again? Or do I just have to double jump? Like, this is something I wish I had a topspin for. I mean, I could use this to stagger, but would that work? Denied. Thanks, but there's a whole funny story about that, and it's and a little bit of misinformation tied to it. But anyways, let me focus on figuring out this challenge. In Napalm Man is related to bombs and explosions. In the original game, not fire, because the bombs didn't actually fire. Oh, what was replaced with the Mega Man 5 there? Nothing. It was never released there. At least, around that era. Okay, I'm starting to understand why this got the downvotes, because I don't really see how to do this without landing on the block. You're saying it's a little bit tight, but it's extremely tight. I'm sorry. How do I get across then? I can't make it. Okay, it took several attempts, but it's possible. You may actually want to extend the ladder for that. That's very tight. That's why I kept trying to go for the block, because I tried that a few times already. And probably the rest of the stage is going to be easier. I'll give my statement about that, Buster, Ranatoxa, and Balloon Boy. Just, let me finish this first. I don't actually need to wait for Yoku's, I can just time it. That's the nice thing about this. That's a 5. 6. Next time, just use special weapons. Even this section is actually easier to do than that one. Bye! Alright, to the darkness. Actually, wait, now that I look about it, that actually was outlined. I keep paying more attention to the enemies than the red tiles, when I really should be paying more attention to the ladder. Orange is fine, red is dangerous. It's like the stage nobody asked for, kind of. Yeah, I remember the stage now. It has a quote-unquote darkness gimmick, but not really. It's just a whole visual trick. I thought that was a ladder. Oh, green isn't ladder, it's white. This isn't an easy base level. If this is your definition of easy base level, I fear what your definition of the normal is. Thundra Storm! Like, the only thing I'd change about the stage is that one section with the block jump, or trying to double jump to that ladder. That was exceedingly precise compared to everything else. Even the things later with the precise double jumps, that didn't require that same level of precision. And I keep falling for the same trick that red means danger or spike, because of how similar in color it is to the orange. And me being more worried about the enemies themselves, that's why I keep falling for it. With the stage nobody asked for, there is a greater distinction of colors between safe and not spike. I mean, between safe and spike. You know, blue versus red versus orange and red here. This is what I consider upper intermediate, but fine. Alright, let's get out of here. We're in the pirate ship now. Wait. What's here? Nothing. Didn't you see the latest announcement? Did you not see the latest announcement about Oscar? They had to delay the update because of it taking longer than expected. Loon Boy, why are you asking Buster about that? You should be asking Lauren. I'm confused. Yeah, my answer to Kirby games is dependent on the Kirby game itself. I like Kirby. I really shouldn't be playing. I really want to play Return to Dreamland. As that to me signaled a shift in the design philosophy and difficulty balancing. Like, barring a very specific set of Kirby games, they're deliberately designed to be like, not necessarily baby's first platformer, but a very straightforward, easy to grasp action platformer. Why do you think in most Kirby games you can fly infinitely? Or why the copy abilities in general tend to be fairly strong? Now, there are a few exceptions to the rule, like the actual OG Kirby game, Kirby's Adventure, which actually got a bit difficult near the end, not counting hard mode. But in general, most of the Kirby games, barring stuff like the true arenas or arenas at the end, they tend to be like beginner's platformer in many regards. Now, with Return to Dreamland, they did take this original design philosophy, but added a bit to it in the sense of a lot of extra collectibles being in the stage themselves, and those extra collectibles required a notable amount of, well, relative to the beginner difficulty, more pre-planning required, or mastery of the mechanics. Not by much for the most part, but it is noticeable. Now, Kirby 64 did that before you get on my rocker on that. But I feel like Return to Dreamland took it several steps further. How do I know this if I haven't played the game? I've seen at least half a playthrough of it. Oh my goodness, get me in. But, we can have a whole discussion about Kirby design, but that's gonna require its own stream. I do agree, hard doesn't necessarily mean good, nor does easy necessarily mean bad. It also depends on the target audience. I'm not talking about Kirby's Adventure Buster. I'm referring to Kirby's Dream Land 1. Kirby's Adventure is easier than Dreamland. You know, with Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby doesn't even have the copy abilities yet. Oh. Yeah, playing it safe. Excuse me. And when I say original Kirby game, I refer to the first Dreamland. But the first Dreamland really feels like a prototype for what's to come for Kirby, due to missing the copy abilities and some actually difficult sections because you have to. Your only option for attacking enemies is really to just suck them up and throw them back at them, or use projectiles. Or take advantage of the projectile rebound. Oh my... One sec, I need to see this. Which version? I don't know. Either one will do. But I do agree the original Kirby's Adventure was easy, relatively easy. It's like the first start of this. It's like the true start of the series where it was designed specifically for beginners. But I do agree it's fun yet easy. It also helps that most of them don't last too long, they don't overstay their welcomes. The arena... I like the arena, but it's really geared to those who want to up their technical mastery over the combat systems. But I do agree that there's less of a focus on difficult platforming and more of a focus on combat there, which the later games do rectify with some of the optional challenges. I do wish there was an arena equivalent for platforming in Kirby, though. Oh no. No, get me through. That being said, I am eventually gonna play Waddle Knight. See, this is a good placement for a Yoshishi, considering that we went through a long gauntlet and it may have exhausted most of our weapon energy. Okay. This works. Bye. Easier than the stage rush itself. I count 10 colored squares. Okay, I like the stage for being both simultaneously a stage rush of the previous 8 or 10 levels, and for being like a final set of obstacles or final test of our skills and the gimmicks we learned. We didn't have the Roadmaster rematches, so it didn't overstay its welcome in that regard, but yeesh. There are a few sections which were uncharacteristically harder than the others. So, this particular mention going to that base double jumping challenge with the block dropper in the middle. I know you got it, Kira/Parazero, but I feel that it's harder than those challenges preceding and succeeding it. There isn't really a chance of instant death there, but it is annoying. I would make that easier by adding one more ladder to the right side, as otherwise it kind of breaks the flow of the level. Refights are in Castle 4 because of length, fair enough. This is one of those things where I prefer to have like an intermingling of the gimmicks, mechanics from different levels, but this works too. I don't know. It didn't quite hit for me the same way as others. I'm not gonna downvote it, it's just it doesn't quite have the sauce. Return of Dreamland is also good because it's the first mainline Kirby game to have up to 4-player co-op support. That's a blast. Good idea on Nintendo's, well, HAL Laboratories and Nintendo's front. It was a good idea for new Super Mario Bros. Wii, and it's a good idea for this one. And it's more difficult to accidentally kill your allies in Kirby than Mario. Kirby Superstar and Superstar Ultra are, I would say, the gold standard of that era of Kirby design. I say that era, but then we also have, at least with the original Superstars release date, the whole Dark Matter trilogy. You know, Dreamland 2, 3, and 64. What's with the previous stage earlier having Screw Crusher, Ice Wave, and Bubble Lead in the same weapon roster? I don't see the problem there. I could see some issues with the Bubble Lead and Ice Wave overlapping each other, but Screw Crusher doesn't function the same way, so it's fine. Alright, let's keep going. And to me at least, I don't mind it too much if there's 2 weapons that overlap rolls, but when we get to 3 or 4, it becomes a problem for me. I'm not gonna nitpick that. A few other Mega Man games have done that. 2 for me is like the max. And at least at close range, Bubble Lead is more spammable. I basically use the Bubble Lead in that regard as more of a shotgun. Yeah, Screw Crusher is also better for single targeting, where Ice Wave is multiple. Well, why do you say that, Sunflora? I mean, the closest thing I think of fan games was that one I covered during Sage, where you could equip the 2 weapons simultaneously and they had different effects depending on which arm you had. I do appreciate every weapon in a roster filling a unique role, but you have to be careful with that because sometimes that means that some roles will be far more limited than others. At a certain point, you need to make sure that the weapons feel good and effective to use. Most importantly, feel good to use for most players. Effectiveness second, I guess. And sometimes in order to make a weapon effective enough, you may need to have them overlap another role a bit. Again, if two weapons overlap in a role, I'm okay, depending on how strong the overlap is. Like, if they're the same weapon, sure. If they're functionally the same weapon, I'll point that out. But if they overlap somewhat, I'm fine. But when you get to 3 or 4, it's an issue. In the same role, I mean. Now things can get a bit fuzzy when we get to... Now, I say this, but things can get a bit fuzzy when we talk about weapons which are more effective in a certain role versus less effective in others. For example, more generalist weapons versus specialist ones. Like, we can have, for example, 4 weapons which are excellent at their specified roles, and 1 weapon which can achieve those 4 same roles but much less effectively. Double Buster, thank you, Ditto. I forgot about its name. Just be careful about weakening the roster, as we don't want to end up with a situation like Mega Man 5 where, in many cases, my solution is, why not just use the Mega Buster? There's a reason why they're called special weapons. And when I say powerful, I'm not just talking about how good they are in their role, I'm also talking about their damage, DPS, max number of shots on screen, element, max ammo capacity, how much ammo does it use per shot, speed of the projectile, etc, etc. It's a delicate balance. Not only that, this is talking in isolation with the weapons themselves, but you also have to keep in mind the stage design too, as depending on how you design the stages, certain weapons may get more or less time in the limelight, which is why I feel like 11's stage design is so great, because every stage, at least with the RM levels, has at least one weapon that's really good in it for most of the sections, and they're not necessarily the same. Well, unless it's an underwater stage, Lauren, in which case the water wave turns into a shotgun and has a use case. Alright, let's actually do the stage. I did a small sidetrack. Forward up is Headlight Railway by Elecman HG, 45 plays, score 16. Thank you for the short TED Talk, everybody. I totally understand that, Balloon Boy. That's part of the reason why I sometimes take breaks. That's the main reason why I take breaks from time to time from Maker, as when I do self-reflection, I realize I get too harsh and too nitpicky. Ooh, bike. Like, these games are made... Like, these are fan games and fan content. You aren't being paid to make these. You're spending your delicate free time... You're spending your delicate free... excuse me. You're just spending your free time to make these levels. In most cases, barely, and in most cases, only a few people ever end up seeing it. Like, in the tens at most. Sometimes even less. So I can't get too harsh. If anything, I should have been harsher on the Mega Man Classic games I covered during Mega May. They were actually made to be... Those are the ones where Capcom actually sold it to us. Like, I'm gonna hold the fan games I'm gonna hold fan games to a lower standard than the actual commercial titles. Like, it goes for me like fan game, freeware, commercial. Otherwise, it's not fair in my book. I'm still gonna call out fan games when they perform stuff. I'm still gonna call out games when they perform some really obvious mistakes. But feel free to call me out if I get too harsh. Specifically with fan works. Like, if you want to see me try tearing apart a work more, see Wolfchild. Ow. Danger. Right. Wait a sec. I love that. Uh-oh, dead. I just love how a single concrete block just immediately destroys them. That was fun. And I appreciate there were two ways of doing it. The slow and steady way, and the quick and fast, and the quick and dangerous one. I wasn't pigeonholed into using one over the other. Oops, that hurts. That hurts too. Well, fair enough. If you yourself are asking to be more harshly judged, more like a commercial title, then that's your prerogative and I'll respect it. But in general, if not explicitly asked, I'm going to be less harsh to a fan project compared to a commercial project. And mind you, there are different tiers of commercial projects which I'll be more or less harsh about. Like, in general, I'm also going to be less harsh on smaller indie projects than bigger projects. Oh my gosh, Ditto, we can never escape their shadow. Eddie, I'm gonna try saving you if I can figure out how to get up to you. Well, I guess I can't. Let me finish this stage, then I'll talk about that. I'm only gonna say one part of that point because I've already litigated that whole discussion years ago. Ow. Well, there goes his bike. I think Acid Man stage is great. I never actually ranked all the Roadmaster stages across the entire franchise. That may be a fun thing to do later. I mean, if I did, well, it'd mostly be dominated from games like 4, 6, 7, 8, and 11. Which is, I'm just describing half the series, hang on. Like, if I just rate the classic ones, it'd probably be dominated with stuff like 4 and 11. And some 7 and 8. And World 5, if you want to count that too. Okay, this stage is going longer than expected, Elect Man. We're also having a more non-traditional stage that... Oh. Ow. Do I have an E-tank? Nope, of course not. I'm doing the slow and steady route. I've taken too much damage. Oh, no, pff. You got pushed me in, I couldn't get it. No, Lauren. It wouldn't be... Wait, which Forte? Okay, suddenly this has gone notably harder because I don't have an E-tank. I want to have a whole discussion about criticism, but can we please... I want to hold off until I beat this level, as it's certainly a thing. Not helped by the RNG not dropping pickups. Well, there are those pickups from the targets, so... Can't complain about that, at least. I can break out of this! Weep! Quick time reactions, but have a fast fall method. As a matter of fact, going faster was actually a bit safer. As long as you react quick enough. Oh, that's it? I get that was a climactic section, but it felt like I was gonna find Nitro Man at the end. That was weird. For what it's trying to be, it does succeed on that gimmick, so thumbs up. Okay, let me scroll back a bit because we had a discussion. I'm gonna break it up into two parts. I do care a bit about what weapons people pick, but in general, I care more about the level design. And making the Busted a Fair Shot, it does open up some own design paradigms because you get a charge shot, sure, but you can aim it in 8 directions. Or, I think 7 directions. Okay. I've litigated this before and discussed it years back, so I am not going to repeat this. I'm only going to say this once for the stream. When Nico evaluates, judging fan games to the same standards as the commercial Mega Man Classic games, or Mega Man games in general, I feel that is, to be quite frank, kind of foolish. Not kind of, it's just foolish. It's not fair to hold the same standards of fan game creators who are typically working with less time, budget, expertise, and human power than the commercial games are. So of course the quality is going to be lower. So of course it's going to be less experimental. So of course it's going to be less polished. So of course it's going to be typically less experimental, or be allowed to be less experimental. Or well thought out, which is why when they do achieve that, it's praiseworthy. I just don't like holding two things that are designed for very different purposes to the same standards. Alright, next up. Acid Man stage would actually be one of my favorite ones in the series. And just because you have difficulty with a stage or die a lot doesn't necessarily mean that you'll dislike it or think it's badly designed. I don't want it. I used to give harsher criticism, but nowadays I prefer to have more pertinent criticism. Not necessarily harsh, not necessarily easygoing. Now, I will give more harsher criticism if the person requests it, but at a certain point I feel a lot of harsh criticism goes down the kind of your mileage may vary, or worse yet, nitpicky route. I think I prefer detailed criticism more, so you can see where the critic is coming from. What irks me more is about being inconsistent, or more specifically, being inconsistent and not explaining why you're being inconsistent. I'm not referring to things where people change their mind over months or years. That is fine. That is called growing up, or growing older and updating your perspectives and what have you. I've done that. What irks me is more of if in the same time frame, like when I say same time frame, you can interrogate that a bit more. If in the same time frame or in the same review, an inconsistent 2 points are raised with contradictory. The same point is evaluated with contradictory standards or expressions or evaluations, and it's not explained why. I think Concrete Shot is a pretty cool weapon, especially in Maker, but I wouldn't put it at number 1, let alone it's the OG game. I don't think it's a bad weapon, but I don't consider it to be like number 1 or top 10. That being said, if I had the option, I would keep it in my arsenal as a backup. Its best use is utility. And to Lauren's point, if you're gonna ask me what my least favorite Mega Man Classic stages are, Forte 1 mostly wouldn't be represented there. If we're counting Fortress stages, then yes, King 2. Mega Man and Base has some great weapons indeed, actually some of the best weapons in the series in some regards. They didn't have, for example, Ice Wall. They made that's supposed to be more of a utility option and more situational, but due to the way it's programmed and the amount of damage it deals, it's basically an amazing shotgun weapon. It shouldn't be that strong. They turned what should be kind of like a very situational, lukewarm option into something that's arguably broken. Magic Man would not be in my bottom 5 either, sorry. If you watch me for long enough, or watch my Mega Man playthroughs live, or as I edit them, you'll know that already. I practice a lot for Mega Man and Base, but as much of the frustrations of Magic Man there are, especially with some of the flying aerial gotcha moments, I don't dislike it. I feel falling from Mega Man 4 and onwards, even 3 and onwards, Capcom realized a lot of the BS moments earlier and iron them out. Like, if you want to ask me about even more BS design, Rockman and Forte 2 Aircon Man. Not only because it took about 20 minutes to actually get the emulator to work with the rotation correctly, but also because of the badly designed spike fall section. They had to resort to save stating so we didn't get game overed. And yes, and there's also the cultural zeitgeist of fan games. Like there was the I'm gonna generalize things about here and say this. There was a pre-unlimited era of Mega Man fan games, and boy was it kind of messy. There are many different design paradigms of how to make the games, but in general the games were even if they had soul to them, they were very unpolished and janky. But Unlimited brought a new age and became a gold standard because of how relatively well put together the game was. It was far less janky and much more polished than what we've seen before. So that's why it became the new gold standard, and to a certain extent, to those who played more fan games, why Rock Force became the gold or silver standard as well. They had their own different problems, sure, but they really showed how much further Mega Man classic fan games, or Mega Man fan games in general, could be taken, and actually could be mistaken or be directly comparable to the commercial ones. Now counting ROM hacks are a different thing, we'll worry about those later. And then following that, in the pre-unlimited era, Blackest Engine was one of the things that was utilized, but it, even for its time, was very janky and difficult to use. Harder than it should have been, to be honest. And then after Unlimited and Rock Force specifically, there is the era of Mega Engine. And boy did it make it so much easier to produce Mega Man fan games. It is through this era where we actually got fan games like Magwell 2, which pushed the bar further. Not to mention that we had fan games like Super Fighting Robot, Rock and Roll, etc, etc. And now we have the era of the Megamix engine, which takes it another step forwards. I am overgeneralizing here and skipping past several seminal titles like, for example, Mega Man Maker, but that is like the Mega Engine era. So yes, the cultural zeitgeist has shifted, and the titles that are being released are far more accurate to the classic entries, commercial OG classic entries. I still like Unlimited. I like Unlimited, but it's a lot of its design did not age well. I understand where its design paradigms came from, but it did not age as well. I still love its music though. Oh, Revolution is its own, I don't know what to think about that, actually. It is definitely very ambitious. Indeed, Buster, it is having its 10th anniversary, and at the very least, it's nice to interrogate what went wrong with it. In particular, its design principles, which were at war with itself, to be honest, and not fully realized. I appreciate how experimental the set of N-Base's weapons are, but it feels like half the weapon set is kind of outclassed by the other half. And the other half is outclassed by the freaking ice wall. The Aircon Man incident was so annoying because after all that effort to get the stage working, we ended up with the worst stage in the entire game. Bar none. There are reasons to justify having a more vertical screen layout. That stage did a terrible job at it. The only way it could have been worse if it included force beams. My apologies everyone, I'm catching up with a bunch of messages and rambling. With every fan game, there's always a core objective that the creator wants to achieve, and the criticism... I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. I agree there is a core objective or a set of objectives the creator wants to achieve, but I don't think the criticism should necessarily be around that objective. Sure, I say it's a good idea to take into account the core set of objectives and talk about or take that in consideration, but at the same time, excuse me, as a critic, I think it's a good idea to take into account the creator's core set of objectives, but at the same time, you shouldn't necessarily just limit the critique around how well it achieved that objective. Like sometimes the goals for a fan game or game itself are not really conducive to making a fun play experience, or may seem a bit confused with what the game wants to be. Or what if the set of objectives are self-contradictory, the way they're implemented? Or what if you're comparing it to other games, or proposing of ways it could be improved, or ways it failed? Like, every review in some regards is subjective, and I don't necessarily, for example myself, I don't necessarily agree with all the objectives every fan game sets to achieve. For its time, unlimited controls were pretty cool, but nowadays it shows its age. I think opinions can be... I know it's a bit of a hot take. I think a few opinions can be actually wrong, but those are the ones that purport to say... but those are specifically the ones that purport to say something that's very easily disprovable, but they aren't really in regards to games. Like, at least from my experience with Unlimited, it was such an amazing jump forwards in regards to, hey, all my button inputs, all my keyboard inputs are actually executing. Well, at least the vast majority. They do mostly what I intend to do. I don't feel it's a fair comparison going from comparing Megamix's controls to Unlimited, as that's like 2 or 3 eras forwards. But yeah, if I go back there too, I feel it's both fair and a bit unfair to make that comparison. Fair in the sense that, yeah, it didn't age as well. Fair in the sense that, yeah, it did definitely have issues. Unfair in the sense that other fan games learned from it and improved the controls, and I'm happy that we've done that. I don't think Goat Simulator is even a bad game. Again, your mileage may vary, Ditto. It If you're more of a casual Mega Man... Sorry everyone, give me 5 more minutes and then I'll go on to Andre's level. I didn't realize we would have a 20-minute TED Talk here, but I feel that's important for many things. To Ditto and Buster's point, I actually think it also depends on how much you play Mega Man games. If you're more of a casual player, you won't really notice as much of a difference between MMU's controls and something like Mega Mix's. But if you play a lot of Mega Man fan games or classic games, you will notice that. Like, I can definitely notice it. Heck, I would actually say that Mega Mix's controls are better than Rock Force's, for example, and I love that game. Goat Simulator is one of those things where at the same time, I understand the objective of making a quote-unquote bad game, but at the same time, I feel like the true objective the developers wanted to do was make something that looks like it's make something that's really bad and unoptimized, but in reality is something that is deliberately janky, messy, but more like a sandboxy playground with a lot of objectives to accomplish. aka poking fun at the many sandbox titles. Oh boy, you said it, Orange GMEO. We're gonna have a 7-minute discussion about it now. No. Goat Simulator is kind of it kind of established its own sub-genre. Maybe more or less subs. In regards to wacky sandbox game that many other games tried to emulate but failed by not understanding what it was trying to parody. Games which actually understood what Goat Simulator was trying to do were stuff like Squirrel with a Gun and Deer Simulator, and probably one or two others which are escaping my mind. I want to make one thing clear, Ditto. I don't dislike the controls of Unlimited. If I were to go play that right now, I wouldn't really have a problem with them. When I say better, I'm talking relatively speaking. Okay, thank you for listening to my second 20-minute TED Talk. Let's cover 2 or 3 levels before we go into the next 20-minute one. But thank you. Also, yes, I should play Z Chaser. If Lauren didn't escape here, if Lauren didn't use the escape chip, my opinion of Magic Man stage is that it's mid at best. I love the music though. A streamer probably found it, Buster. Okay, fifth up is Kunai Castle by Andre Fan. Sorry. Fifth up is Kunai Castle by Andre Fan. 216 plays and a score of 111. Oh shoot, I forgot to mention. Tomorrow morning I'll be sampling the demo of Tricking the Dreamcaster. Recently they hit Kickstarter, so I'm curious to see how the latest updates affect it. When I covered the demo of it during Sage, it only covered the special stages and not the main game, 2 of the special stages. So now with this Kickstarter demo, it's going to be showcasing the main game and several of the special levels. It may take an hour, half an hour, we'll see. If I beat it within like half an hour, like reasonably close to 100% or full completion, I may throw in another demo in the mix too, because why not? Kunai Training. However, I'm not going to start a new Let's Play on Sunday because I'm going to be starting a new Let's Play with Mega Team Up on Tuesday, as well as another Let's Play on Sunday, next Saturday or Sunday, for a game that I'll be releasing later this week. I just don't want to overwhelm the channel with new Let's Plays, that's all. Grenade teleportation for the win! You didn't need that over there, you could just put the boss gate. Yeah, Swirl with the Guns battle and boss team are great. Ninja versus Samurai. Or Ninja versus Spearman. I'm probably going to get back to Swirl the Gun when I do a grab bag. I'm not going to go for 100%, I'm going to go for beating the game now. I wanted to do 100% for the relatively 100% for the first area to see how it goes, but I understand, it's one of those things where I understand its appeal, but I don't like it enough to the point where I would 100% it. Especially with all the grinding involved. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, I got that downloaded. I did Swirl with a Gun before Deer Simulator because I accidentally got the game. Long story. I was meaning to buy it, but I got it accidentally earlier than expected. Hey, if I accidentally get Deer Simulator, I'll be happy to do it next April Fools. I wouldn't call it Mario 64 to straps. Well, I say that, but now that I think about it, Shotgun Mario exists. I'll let Buster describe it. It's basically an Ubisoft. It is basically a Ubisoft-style sandbox, but with a squirrel. What I mean by that, I mean Ubisoft-styled open-world sandbox, but with a squirrel with a gun. Versus the agents of a clandestine organization. Okay, let's do this. 6th up is Work in Progress Weather Control by Buster. Only half the stage is done, so I'm not gonna be too harsh. We can never escape from Cutman. Yeah, they even have the tower climbing. I totally understand why they had the Ubisoft had the tower system, and it made sense initially, but as it got further and further along, it became rote and overused. To the point where one or two titles of Ubisoft parodied that too. This is Buster, so yes. Yeep, that is a tight jump. If there's ever a Magmul episode, well, there will be. When we eventually get Magma Episode 02, I'm hoping someone makes a boss fight where it's literally just Cutman tiles. Or a Cutman mech which is composed of Cutman tiles. That over Magma 4. Well, whenever I designed my Magma levels, I always started with placeholder tiles. I didn't use Cutman tiles though. I didn't actually use Cutman tiles. What I actually used was the gray debug blocks. Yeah, the best way to usually do it is to make the level first, then tile it. Or have a rough idea of what the stage aesthetics are, make the level, then tile it. That being said, after you make the level and then tile it and find some areas don't quite work well with the aesthetics, you can change a bit of it. You can change a little bit of the design. Like round off some of the corners or what have you. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised that worked! Yeep. I don't know if it is a difficulty spike or a logical extension to what we've seen before. Maybe I prefer one more screen before that, but you can make do with that. Thank you for including these enemies for damage boosting. I can't just skip this section. I cannot. Phoenix and whatever their brother or sister is named. Yeah, the judges will accept that. They've accepted crazier things before. I mean, we had the stage nobody asked for, where the stage itself is a freaking boss fight. Having a Cutman tile golem wouldn't really bat that many eyes by this point. Ow. Ow. Suzak and Phoenix. Thank you. Yoku? I'm guessing this is where the stage ends. Yeah. I get what you're doing with the platforms and reigns, and it's for the upper intermediate stage to intermediate. I think it's fine. I say upper intermediate because I realized that calling a stage intermediate is actually not conducive enough, because I feel like there's a level of difficulty between intermediate and experienced / advanced that really should be taken into account and started. Like when I played through a lot of Maker levels, and I feel like there are 5 or 6 solid difficulty categories I can count on. Basically, those would be from lowest to highest, least difficult to most difficult, beginner, beginner, upper beginner or / newbie, newcomer, followed by intermediate, followed by upper intermediate, followed by advanced, followed by basically Kaizo, or whatever you want to call it. Half finished, but it is working. Oh my gosh, 90 minutes in, we're only 6 levels in. Okay, 7th up is The Forgotten Sewers by O'Brad. 37 plays in a score tree. Favorite Mega Man classic game? Oh, 4 or 11. And to remind you all, as a bunch of you are new and I haven't said this before, eventually I will go back and do Powered Up, hopefully later this year, because as an addendum or as an extra to Mega Man the first, I did cover Forte 2 after all. And I feel that does way more than the Wily Wars for new content. I'm not gonna 100% that game because, oh my gosh, doing that's gonna require 8 to 9 streams. I may like that game but not that much. Will I do all the challenges? That is another interesting question because that's gonna require another stream in its own right. Next year, I will do Mega Man 2 DX Wars. But, it's gonna require... there are gonna have to be some specifications there. Namely, I'm only gonna be covering really the mainline ones. I've already covered Extreme 1. Extreme 2, I'll think about that. As for the JRPG, that'll have to be an addendum because that will take almost as long as the 8 X games before it. Unless Capcom decides to re-release the game with Fast Forward. Oh gosh. Huh? Oh no, I'm gonna do Nine Tails. Oops. If you know me, I'm gonna do that. And do you know what the funny thing about that, Buster? If you play with the OG Mega Man 1 levels and Powered Up, and the OG designs, the camera zoomed out more, if I recall correctly. So that was achievable. Like, I think I did fine enough with the limited screen size, but I feel like most of the levels would have been better if the camera was zoomed out more and allowed for more screen real estate. Maybe. If they ever re-release yeah, old-style Mega Man Powered Up zoomed out to 1-to-1 size, and honestly, I think I prefer that level of zoom over the standard one present in new style Powered Up. Don't get me wrong, I think the Powered Up new style level design is superior to the OG level design, but it does limit what challenges can be showcased there. Scary. You know what? No, I'm gonna damage boost this. No, shoot, that was bad. Oh gosh. How many were they? Like, I prefer new style level design, but I prefer the old style zoom. It feels more comfortable to play with me. I know it's weird saying this, but new style Powered Up feels a bit claustrophobic. Mega Man again is interesting, and I do want to cover that eventually. Ah, shoot. Should have just went forwards. I thought I could stand in between. How much progress did I lose? Barely. Woodholder fun times. If your definition of fun is evasion of spikes. It is on my to-play list, but I got sidetracked for some other titles, and of course Mega Man. I will cover again, but I want to do it after Powered Up because that's his direct that's the direct point of comparison. Oh shoot. Oh no. How did I land on that? One more moment. I do appreciate that more Mega Man Classic fan games do allow you to play as the Roadmasters themselves. That's all on me. I can think of 3 off the top of my head. Which one was Time Adventure? Oh my gosh, fish. Probably not. Cheng is permanently banned from the server. Oh no! I thought I could get through inside on the right, it didn't work. For the demos I played, it's certainly a fever dream, but after all the nonsense they pulled, I'm doubtful. Shame, really, because even if that game was all kinds of unpolished, untested, it certainly was experimental in a fun way, sometimes. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Yeah, this is this is suddenly gotten a lot harder. Oh, and that's why I don't get life pickups. Shoot. I don't get a special weapon either to deal with the triple or quadruple power musclers. It's funny saying this, but the patio stage is going to be easier. So I have to be very careful with damage boosting now. Every bit counts. Yeah, I can. I wanted to use the tops as a damage booster, but it's seemingly not important. And this jump is still and this jump is painful to perform anyways, that's why I wanted damage boost too. I can do the one left of it, but the one right of it is a ting. That's why I kept the tops. I can do the rest of the challenges fine, it's just that one, which makes me more that I got past that point once or twice, but ended up dying after it, because power musclers. I'm mashing the button. There. I jumped. Yeah, this is starting to get kind of frustrating. Am I talking about playing as the boss of the game, or just anyone who is a Mega Man? The former. If we're talking about the former, I believe in, correct me if I'm wrong, in Again S, Mega Pony, and Rock Force, you can play as the main boss, you can play as the Roadmaster or as the Roadmaster equivalents in a special mode. And if you want to stretch it a bit, I guess Super Danny powered up. Even though you don't technically play as the bosses, you clone their abilities, but close enough. Well, I guess in Rock Force you do have to rescue them first, so there's a limitation there. I like that feature as a bonus more than anything else. Powered Up introduced that fact and I like it. Okay, we survived. Oh shoot, sorry, I made a mistake. I forgot. No, we don't play as the bosses. We play as the other members of the Rock Force in Rock Force. Sorry, I crossed some wires in my brain. It's like Day in the Limelight. Yeah, I forgot. That's the other game I was thinking of. There are two different things happening. Playing as the bosses of the game is more like Again S, correct me if I'm wrong, and Mega Pony, similar to Powered Up. Now, playing as different characters other than Mega Man, a lot of them that aren't just Proto Man or Roll or Bass, that's more the lines of Rock Force or in the Day in the Limelight. Or Mega Man Armada. I think it's Mega Man Armada. Let me see that actually. Yeah, Mega Man Armada. Shame that never got completed, but yeah. Spade Magnus's game could also technically count, but you only really play as one character in each individual fan game. It's not quite in the same category as I put like multiple bosses you can play as multiple playable characters, but it does fit. I want out. Okay, this final section I guess climactic, but boy was it much more difficult than the previous ones because of spikes. Well, at least he takes more damage. I just talked about that Jedok, about Super Danny. Oh good, you have to time this now. It doesn't go as low as I hoped. One more. Okay, boss fight was certainly easier than the last section of the stage, TBH. Man, this is one of those things where it's a combination of me not being good enough for what the stage is expecting and a difficulty spike, so I totally understand why I got the negative scores. This is one of those weird situations where, again, I would ease up on the difficulty spike there. I don't think putting a checkpoint there would really make it, would kind of break the challenge and make it too easy. I'd prefer if the power muscles at the end were made a bit easier. Or put a large life pickup before the power muscles, I don't know. So, I'm not gonna upvote it or downvote it, I'm conflicted here. But yeah, thank you for correcting me about that point, Buster. There's basically two different, but related design paradigms for that. Ones where you play as the bosses in the game, or ones where you play as a non-Mega Man related cast, as a non-Mega Man cast member, or a cast member who isn't Mega Man. Or, if you want to do a third but related category to that second one where you don't even play as Mega Man at all, and you're instead playing as someone with their own unique moveset. On that point, Genok, I think there was one X-Fan game that did that, sort of, maybe? But that's stretching the definition. Indeed. I understand, though, Brad, but with the power muscles, it's surprisingly tricky to time it right. It is, Buster, thanks to the magic of data cloning. Not the real explanation, but eh. But going back to my point a little bit, I do wish there were more Mega Man fan games that starred characters who aren't Mega Man. See Spade Magnus' fan games, for example. Let's see, for example, Ringman in the Castle, Eddie's World, or if you want to go to another designer, Tackle Fire with Gun, or heck, the Reggae Operation. Feel free to experiment. I'm okay with the first Power Muscle Room, but the second one, eh. We already had the decent challenge before it, we don't really need that. Okay, I'm gonna take a short pause and then we'll move on to the last 50 minutes of the stream. Be right back. Back I am. We have about 45 minutes left, let's do this. 8 up is World 1, Somber Swamp, Stage 1, Gooey Swamp, Mega and Roll, by Lepanio, 87 plays, and a score of 52. The start of Mega Man in the Land of Orbs 2, their latest level pack, which will be played in the oncoming 2 or 3 months. I got Oran, it'll be 11th. This is stage 8. Normally I get worried about Lepanio's levels, but I just played a rather difficult one by by O'Brad. And, Lepanio's, most of the time, the first or second stages from the earliest stages from Lepanio's level packs don't tend to be too difficult. It's only by the end where they get rather difficult in Obstacle Course C. Congratulations on obtaining your Goku noodles for real this time. I guess it took 2 hours to power up. I'm sorry, that was a lame joke. Let's see, what is our weapon? Bubble. Wait, can I reach it? I swear I can reach this. Maybe. Ah, yeah, I can. Yes. Oh. I can jump higher when not out of the oil. I can jump higher when I'm jumping not in the oil. Oh, I didn't even need that, my bee. Let me out, I was just gonna go to the right end. Yeah, it took hours learning how to control key, gather spirit energy, so you can actually cook the noodles. Ishishi! A little bit too generous for IMO, but this is a patio, so I'll let it slide. Right now I'm commenting on how forgiving it is, but later I'll be eagerly waiting for any Ishishi. Ah. Yeah, and unlike most of Oscar's levels, this actually has some neat challenges and bite to it, and it's not just a direct clone or adaptation of something else. Oh yeah, this is a special stage. I realize what you were doing now, Lepanio. These teleporters are just like the bonus rooms from DKC. The bonus game room. See, if you're trying to adapt DKC to a more Maker-like format, but having unique levels, this is probably how you do it. Good job, Lepanio. I slept in the water balloon in 8. Okay, she doesn't have that weakness. Ooh, wait. I never fully completed any of the DK games. Namely as I was bad at collectibles back then. Oh gosh. No boss fight at the end? That's not necessarily a bad thing. Not all stages need boss fights, and many stages I feel would end better if they just ended after the climactic section. Somewhat like this. The climactic section here wasn't really that involved, but it's not intending to be that difficult anyways. It's more like, as you said, like a Donkey Kong level, Donkey Kong Country level, and in that sense, this fits. Thumbs up. Honorable mention in the episode. I played DKC 1, 2, and 3. I haven't played 64, nor have I played the Returns duology. Nor Bonanza. 9th up is Harpy Man Plus Boost Man, Ruga Canyons. By Balloon Boy, 45 play, score 15. There's so many games I want to play, but so little time. I think I had this. Whoa, this is the first time we've seen that cosmetic skin. For the Axelas, Axums, Choppies. And this isn't even taking into account all the other fan games ROM hacks I want to cover, not just from Mega Man. Tunnel Rhino. Berserkers. And if you're watching this, and in some shape or form you're watching this, Mr. Scarday and some below on this point, I haven't forgotten. I will do Sonic Rush. That is more J Butter's request, but he said you wanted to see that too. Right. Oh yeah, there was a force moon there. That took a little while. Sun's waiting for me. Despite all the criticisms I sometimes may levy at a fan game or a commercial project related to Mega Man, I still quite enjoy the series. I criticize and praise because I care. If I didn't really care about the series, or was just playing this as a one-off, then sure, I may leave some criticisms, but they're not going to be as detailed, nor probably as frequent. Unless they do something really off the beat or whatever. But in that case, I'll probably just end the stream early. That's something I want to make, at least one of the things I make clear. I criticize because I care. Now, whether I do it well enough is a different question entirely. And I should actually up my game when doing the overall reviews or overall evaluations or overall thoughts at the end of a game. Not just for Mega Man, but especially indie games, because goodness gracious, they could take it. Hopefully I remember that for Tricky tomorrow. If Tricky ends up being shorter, I may do another Let's Try after it. If not, Stream will end early. The ideal situation is if Queen or one of the other developers shows up. If not, I'll still be happy. Oh yeah, Jazz Jackrabbit 2 Plus or something. I never played 2, but I did play 1, the shareware copy, and the Christmas episodes. Now the question is, if I play 1, will I play it with the OG DOS resolution and screen real estate, or will I play it with 69 resolution? 16:9 resolution. Like, from what I remember and what I seen in Sabi's video, it would benefit. The first one would benefit greatly with the increased screen real estate. Oh, that's nice, Buster. I would say in terms of playability, 2 is better than 1. Like, the slower pacing plus the more zoomed out camera really benefits the game. So unless someone asks me otherwise, I'll probably play with the zoomed out version of Jazz 1. It's a shame that Jazz 2 kinda came out late, considering its contemporaries. It really Epic was a little bit behind there. Anyway. 10th up is Voltage Vermilion by Jedox74. 75 plays and a score 28. Oh yeah, Famiclones. Whenever I discuss the NES era or Famicom era, I don't usually take into account the fact that yes, we had many different Famiclones out there too. Fish. Okay, as explained by Jedok, even if the stages are a bit rompy or popcorny, the visuals are a treat. Oh yeah, might be. You know what, let me restart the stage. I never really taken into account Famiclones, but they were also an important part of the market. Oh yeah, Jazz Jackrabbit 3D, that... Many people don't know about it. It's also a shame, of course, judging by when it was going to be released, if it was going to be released, it would have also come out kind of late to the party. Alright, 10th up is Voltage Vermilion by Jedox74. 75 plays, a score 28. Let's do this for real. If I ever cover Jazz, it's going to be Jazz 1 and then Jazz 2. Probably also including the bonus episodes, but we shall see. Fish. Another visually stunning level by Jedok. A little bit busy, but not too much. That's one thing that Jedok consistently gets right. Even if the stages are quote-unquote popcorny, rompy, take your pick of word choice, visually they're still a treat. Oh my goodness. Fish season's crazy here. Why is there so many angry fish in this dam? Alright, damn. What was the explanation again? Ooh. No, I almost did it. Should have pressed onwards. My overachieving sense of caution killed me. Overachieving sense of caution? What does that mean? My overbearing sense of caution. The exclamation as the bird goes, "Wait, adventuring is dangerous? I'm out of here. I don't want to get shot." Me IRL. Thank you, like man. Oh no! Oh, thank you, like man. You saved me. I know it's not on you, but... Oh wait, that does harm me, though. It's been a while since the last time It's been quite a while since I last saw the elect plushies being used like... Ahem. It's been a while since I last saw the elect plushies being used in this way. Professor Tornado, your level's 12th up. This is 10th. The queue has 13 levels. I'm gonna try my best to get there. I have about 25 more minutes to stream. I can do this, probably. Oh, that's actually a ladder, but, you may want to make that stand out more. Oh no! The fish bit me and ascended to the heavens. That happened. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Ow. Well, as a mid-boss, it does work. Also, first, it's been a while since I also seen someone just toggle on and off the claws. Darn it. Problem solved. Or rather, not the claws, but the platforms. Glad to see the static walls don't block anything else. I don't know, as a rompy level, it is popcorny sure, but it does force me to engage with that gimmick. The platforms blocking the lasers, as well as the electric gabials, so it's our routine traditional fortress, and I don't know, it is pretty enjoyable. Like, right now I have 3 solid contenders of what I want to make my favorite level and honorable mention, and this is one of the 3. Oh yeah, Wave Beam. I know, it's Wrecking Beam, but I keep calling it Wave Beam. It seems more appropriate. Even allows me to pass right through the lasers. Oh my goodness. The water moon splashing even muffles the enemy exploding sound effect. Imagine this game as stealth game mechanics. Nope. No thanks, I'm not dealing with you, I'm going. Oh my goodness. Like, it's either gonna be this, Glockstar, or the Panius level. Sure. I think Sheepman's trapped there. He pretty much was. Oops. This is, to me, this is on the line between, okay, I don't think this is actually that rompy. This is more of a traditional / fortress level, taking some liberties with the progression and stuff. Because even if it doesn't quite get the escalation, recombination, and climactic section right, well, a climactic section was fun. Even if it doesn't get the escalation, recombination quite right, visually and gameplay wise, it's pretty fun, and without getting too difficult in the way. Like, that's why I'm having trouble distinguishing this between a more rompy, popcorny level and a more traditionally polished level. Like, it's polished in its own way that makes it fun. It's like one of those stages where, even if it's not the best made, the way everything comes together makes it greater than the sum of its parts. 11th up is MMA Revisited 2. 11th up is MMA Revisited 2 Deep Sea Base by Orange Mio. 28 plays and a score of 16. Or should I say Oran Gemio. I'll grab this. I forgot what I had last time. Whee! Mega Man falls out of the arena and dies. Take 2 of this. The dockyards. Alright, I didn't have any weapons. Whoopsies. Because the last stage I played by you was the intro level. The one I praised last time. Fine. I'll keep that as a backup then. And I perished before the first checkpoint anyways. The first in-stage after the weapon selectors. So I can read the section now. Thank you! That's it, I'm going out of here. Thank you for cooperating. Luckily that didn't crush me. Oh, I have Rush Marine from the start. Where does this take me? Here. Up and down and all around, indeed. Oh, they're standing right on that chute. Sniped. More of a whiny pat forwards, but I'm always going forwards. I wonder if there was an alternate way I could have taken if it went straight up. I do see something up there. Wart. Ah, I jumped too high. With weapon use, there is another path. I figured as much. Oh no. Of course they have to put the one enemy who I can't easily deal with like that. And now I have to fight you at low health. Jump back, please. Thank you. I can only afford to take one more hit. Well, I can't... excuse me. I can't afford to take any hits now. But now I can. Water rises and lowers every time I jump. Whenever I have these jumps, I'll try damage boosting. It's like, what, 4 or 6 damage versus instant death? And at full health, I'll take the gamble. And we're out of here. A pleasant traditional stage. The best part of it was that outdoor section with the windy paths. I appreciate there is the more windy version where you go down through the pipes, up and down all around, buster only, or if you have the correct special weapons, you can just avoid most of it and take the upper route. That's neat. Okay, this shall affect how we fight Fired Man quite a bit. Thank you. Especially if he keeps doing the horizontal bounces. Damageless too. This did change up the way I fought him, namely by making it easier. Pleasant stage overall, not rompy, but this is where we're going to personal preference now. This stage was designed for intermediate at most skilled players, so it did limit how far the design could be taken. But with how many levels I played in Maker over these 9 years, I want something that's more involved, I'm afraid. That's not really criticism of the stage, it's more of differing preferences. My preferences don't quite line up with the objectives of this level. 12th up is And You Will Know the Truth by T Professor. When he plays in a score of -3. Concerning. Know the truth about what? Am I missing something? Danger, grabber. Danger, I need that grabber. Maybe? No, I didn't really need that. I could damage boost or use the super arrow. I got a better idea. Oh my goodness, low gravity, I didn't see it. I didn't notice the icon on the top left. Until it was too late. Wait a minute. Okay. What if I ran out of it, though? Fine. I'm fine. Ah, if I was just 3 squares below, there would be no problem. For shame. Yeah, what happens if I run out? Oh my gosh, that is, kind of jerkish. I want to farm up just a little bit. You know, this is where a large weapon capsule would be appreciated. Considering that the RNG is... in Maker is, can be rather unfavorable. Probably because it's purely probably because it's purely random. Oh, really? That's your spawn point? Yeah, this is an issue with the stage, I'd say. If we're gonna force me to use stuff like this super arrow, either include a way I can get it back, either include a way I can farm it in this room, have a guaranteed weapon drop or a capsule that contains a super arrow, or just add a secondary way to get past this. Otherwise, I'll get soft locked here. No, I want this way. All this for just this one jump here, and it was right near the end. Oh good, and now you have the large life. Now you have the large weapon pickups. Why couldn't we have this before? You know, the point where we needed the forced weapon usage, the super arrow. I'm gonna laugh if we don't even need the super arrow for this point. I'm being a bit more critical here because you don't want to softlock the players or force them to grind for an indeterminate amount of time. It's not going to be... Might be. It's not going to be like a super long amount of time, but if you can, you want to avoid it. Oh shoot. I see. Okay, thank you for including the sign. Later. Could have included the sign the first time, unless I missed it. This is a submission. Let me in. Oh, look. It's nice, sure, but... I didn't get reacted in time. I get wanting to force weapon usage, I'm okay with that, but if you're gonna do it, at least make it not take a excuse me. At least make it so it takes a reasonable amount of time to get the weapon back, or have an alternative way to get through that challenge. Like here, you are forced to use the drill bomb, so you do get special weapon energy, but why didn't we have the same amount of credence for... Why didn't we have the same thing for, the super arrow? Also, thank you for telling me I can use the drill bomb to blast through it, although I would have preferred if you told me that in the previous one. Let me in. Semi-mandatory, yes. It is somewhat reasonable. It's somewhat reasonable to reset it, so fine, but if you don't get it, well... This jump, though, without the super arrow. Ah, if you can still snipe me, darn it. That's it, E-tank. Yeah, you really want to deal with it so you have enough time to deal with this thing. Can I even make that jump? Yes, probably could do it without the super arrow. I'm not gonna risk it though. Really wish I had a homing weapon here. This stage started out promising enough, but the further I get into it, the more it feels like it's falling apart with the design. Thank you for the full refill. Where was the other Banbi though? Eh. Oh gosh. Let's try it again, shall we? It's one of the stages where it started out promising, but fell apart the further I got along. With the weird emissions, in addition, with the weird placements of the enemies, challenges, and then stuff like the collectibles. I'm staying right here, thank you very much. Are you a power adapter? Nope. Also bomb. I got one more stage in the queue after this, and then I'll end off the stream. But I do wish we ended off on a stronger note than this level. I'm sorry, Professor Tornado, but this is one of your weaker offerings. It has too many notable / noticeable flaws and not so noticeable ones. I'm sorry. they're not overwhelmingly bad, but you know what? I'm gonna take this out, but I'm very tempted to give it a down vote because this needs a few more layers. This needs a few more layers of review. Here's the funny thing, Buster. I thought that was more of a sign of be warned, but the second one I thought was more a sign of be warned. Hit. Use a super arrow. Alright, okay, good. 13... I don't mind Bunby catchers, but this stage's problems are not really the Bunby catchers, if anything. It's more of a case of awkward placements and weird progression things and missing power-ups. But alas, we've already argued about that for a year. Like, if we were to take out the Bunby catchers, 99% of the problems of the stage would still exist. Or 95%. Alright, so the 13th and final level of the stream is Sound Effects 9000, you dig? By VXW. 62 plays and a score 34. Let's finish off on this one. Is it gonna be better? Well... Oh, music stage, I think. So I'm gonna be quiet here. So remember when I was talking about last week of composing custom songs for Maker? This is sort of alluding to that, but not quite. What I was more hoping was something more along the lines of a Mario Paint music composing tool that he could upload and play the custom tracks that way alongside the level. Not so much like this, but I will admit, for the first two sections, if this was more of a horror team level, I think it'd fit fairly well. But with the bright aesthetics, not so much. This is one of those things where I see the potential of it, but it's not quite realized. Well, it's far from being realized. But yeah, dropping the piano. I get the idea behind this, but it needs to be further realized. Now, if you can fully play unique tracks, meanwhile while in the stage itself, immediate bravo. But this is not it yet. Once that's possible with a regular stage, even if the stage itself is not that good, I'll still give it an upvote. Alrighty then, of the 13 Viewers Minute levels I covered on today's morning stream, my favorite one would be... And this is kind of a hard pick. Burst Your Bubble by LD Spade / Glockstar, with an honorable mention going to Voltage Vermilion by Jock74. It was, with honorable mention, it was either that or La Patio stage. Gooey Swamp was visually nice, and I do appreciate the DKC inspired designs with the bonuses and what have you. But in terms of the actual gameplay of the level design, I think Voltage edges it out. And Burster Bubbles is overall a smooth level. So good job, E3, and thank you to everyone else who submitted levels to me. It's very much appreciated. So before I end off the stream, as usual, it is time for the art showcase. The Orbiter is upgraded to version 2. OG design by Mama Doomsday. It looks like the Skull Castle kind of has a lip to it. Neat. Spark the Electric Jester OCs and the Mega Man OCs. These are obviously not all riches. Nice. Formies by Benjamage and Formies by Ropo Shippin. Kibu, Deimos, Fate, Shard, Paste, Torn, Cherry, and Clef. I would like to see what their original forms looked like. As otherwise, the sprite work is nicely done. He has the guts. Wily's favorite Roadmaster became a victim for having his design ripped off for Guts Dozer and many other Guts related enemies and mid-bosses. Happy 12th anniversary to the funny jump scare Robo-Bear game. It speaks for itself. I don't really have much to add to it. Supersonic. Come on, Discord, load the animation, please. Hello? Are you gonna play the animation? Well, I guess not. Artwork of Hugh Man based on Mega Man Analog Horror, Mega Man Beta. I'm sorry, this kind of looks like a regular enemy or mid-boss from a Roadmaster stage, like Golem Man or something. I'm sorry for laughing here, but especially with this design where the head is placed, it almost looks like a souped-up junk golem or something. Not commenting on the blood or the severed arm. And this concludes the art showcase and subsequently the stream. Thank you to everyone who either submitted their levels, submitted their art, or simply participated in chat. It's thanks to your continued support why I continue to produce videos and stream on the channels. It's really appreciated. So, if you're enjoying this or any other video or stream on the channels, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help them out. And don't forget to follow me on Blue Sky and Mastodon as well as join the Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for the Let's Tries.